Hey everyone, I am back. It's Sherry with the girl and her dog, and we have another episode of Strong on the Inside and Out. Wow, my first day back with staff today. It's Monday, August 1st, actually, and I'm working on a passion project this year with my new hires, and I really want to do some work with them to try to get them prepared in a different way so that they can be the best they can be and hopefully keep people in the teaching profession. I think I've talked about this a little bit before. So today was our first day. We were able to meet with them and have such a great group, and I'm just so excited to see what their future holds. So it's been a long day. It's about 5:45, I guess, on this day and Central Time, and it's been a long day. So I am here. This actually will not air until Tuesday, but I do have some work that I have to do tomorrow evening, so I won't be able to be on tomorrow evening. So I am here today, and this week we really have been focusing on having that clear vision and really knowing what you want out of life and then working toward those dreams. So I've shared several times how I always knew what I wanted to do with my life, but I didn't really share some of the other kinds of details. I guess I'm one of those people. My family has always been a working family, and we really focus on you graduate from high school, you get a job, you work hard, you raise a family, you retire, and you enjoy the fruits of your labor. And that's just kind of how my family always was growing up. And so that's what most people that I surround myself family wise kind of think about. But I'm kind of stepping out of the box with that. And it started way back. So, way back when I was a little child, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ish, I would say. I did have a pretty good relationship with my mom. Life was messy, and she was messy, and things were just crazy. But we did have our times in the evening, so she'd get home from work and make us dinner, and we would be home eventually if she remembered to pick us up, right? But nonetheless, we would get home, we'd have dinner, and then we would watch those evening soap operas. And I love them. I love them all. So Heart to Heart, Wonder Woman, Knots Landing, Dallas, all those great things. And I would keep seeing this vision for myself when I grew up. So I would always say, I already knew I was going to be a professional. I thought probably a teacher, so I knew that was coming. But all I knew in my vision at that time really was I was going to be a professional that wore suits. I don't know. As you can see, I'm really not a suit person, but I do have a few, and I can clean myself up well. And I said I was going to live in Texas. Way back then, I mean, 1981, I was like, well, I'm going to live in Texas. Little did I know that would come to be. Not Dallas, of course, but Houston. And so that's kind of a neat little thing. But I didn't know if I'd get married or not. I just thought, strong, independent women, maybe they have a husband and maybe they don't. And, I didn't know. And then I didn't think I'd have children. So I shared a little bit about that in my blog post. But some of those things have come true. I'm professional. I can wear suits to work if I want to. I'm in Texas, but I do have a fabulous daughter, and actually she's turning 32 next week. So she's amazing, the love of my life. And yeah, so I don't know. I guess, when you have that clear vision of what you want in life, you really know how you can work toward it. But what it really made me start to think about this week is just work that I've been doing on my own business and on my own self. And, I can't expect someone to want to work with me if I wouldn't do the work myself, right? And put in the time for myself. So this week I've really been focusing on what it is I want to do to help people. I feel like, especially being very ADHD and kind of all over the place, I knew that that original vision way back in the day included teaching. So that was clear. I was going to teach children how to be better. I was going to support children just like teachers had supported me. But now I'm kind of at that point where I'm making this transition, and with a little less than a year to do so, I'm starting to think maybe I need to think a little more specific, get a little more focused, a little more organized, so I really know what I want to do with people. Clearly, I want to make the world a better place. That's my underlying goal. And I think that anybody who knows me knows that that's always been the goal. Um, I'm kind to people. Of course, I have my quirks and I have my things just like everybody else does. But I try to really see the good in others. And if there is an area that I can help support, then that's, I want to look at that and I want to help people grow. I've definitely been able to do that in my educational world. And so I think not I think. I know I can transition that into this world. So I've been starting to think about really where am I? Well, I've been a 20-year-old, right? I was a young mom, 19 at the time, barely 19, but 19 at the time. Worked through college, worked through, all of those times where a person would be partying and having fun, maybe. That not wasn't necessarily me. It was me grinding. I was there, I was doing the work, I was putting in the time. It wasn't time to play. And then, even when I got my first teaching job, I came into a world a little bit different down here in Houston than where I grew up. And everybody was a single person or they were with a boyfriend. Well, here I was married. And I was actually married 4 years when I, got here to Houston. And my daughter was starting kindergarten. So my world just looked a little different. Now, could I help people in their 20s with something like that? Absolutely. I've been there. I've done it. I've made myself into where I am now. And I got through my 20s very successfully. And it included taking a move of 1,000+ miles. It included working full time and getting through college, which many people are needing to do these days. It included taking care of children when you have other commitments. And it included becoming one of those fast track kind of professionals, even with a husband and a family and other kinds of commitments. So yeah, I could help that kind of person. So then I think about my 30s. And in my 30s, I think about I went through so many transformations. I moved into leadership. And that was not something that I was anticipating I was going to do. And I was a pretty young leader. Became an assistant principal in my early 30s, district coordinator, and then a principal at 34. So, I've kind of been through some of that, do we trust you because you're young and there's veteran people around you, and are there people more qualified, and what makes you the best choice here? And then you're working in a community maybe you don't necessarily live in, and so that transition is a little bit difficult. And as all this was going on, I was becoming a mother of a teenager. Let me tell you, that's enough in and of itself. I hear all these moms talking now about I'm trying to balance this with this and still love my kid, because they become a little crazy when they're in middle school and high school. And, it's something that I've been through and I've done that. So could I speak about that or help people with that? Absolutely, I could. Went through my divorce in my late 30s, right before I turned 40. And, that's devastating in and of itself. And could I help people through a divorce? Absolutely. But I think I really have started to think about the transformation that I've made since that divorce. So in November, it'll be 12 years. And it's been quite a bit of time. It took me a longer time, I think, than maybe others. I don't know. I don't know what's normal and what is normal anyway when it comes to something like that. But, I started to think about more this whole, I'm calling it my midlife crisis. I don't know what anybody else is calling it, but me, myself, I'm calling it my little midlife crisis. When I turned 50, I just really thought, am I getting everything out of the world that I wanted to get out of the world? Now, I was lucky, even though I had to go through that horrible divorce and the realization that I could possibly be, alone, a single person for the rest of my life. I'm okay with that. I've worked through that and I feel very strong and courageous and confident about who I am. It was hard. It wasn't easy. And it was, accepting that maybe you have a dinner out and a drink out and you're by yourself sometimes. Sometimes you're with friends and sometimes you're with a friend who's a boy and, those kinds of things. But then sometimes you're dating. It's just a lot of different sometimes. And that could be kind of exciting. I didn't get to do that in my college years. So, it's something that I definitely don't shy away from. But now as I get into this, where am I going forward? I'm making change in my career. I'm making change in my personal world. I'm at a point where I'm ready to move forward with another person in my life. And, my partner, he'll be moving here in 6 weeks, and, we're going to be living together, and that's going to be different. I've been living alone for 12 years. So, that's kind of a different place to be. And then, of course, so many women my age, and I'm experiencing this as well. My daughter and I have a little bit different relationship than so many people. We're very, very close because I was so young. And then she's a young, she August baby, went off to college, wasn't quite right for her. We're close because we went through some tragedy together, and it's been her and I for such a long time that I feel like right now I'm really becoming the empty nester. She moved to the other side of the city, which sounds like, oh well, Sherry, come on, that's not that bad. But the other side of Houston is like an hour at least away, and if it's traffic, the other day I went over and it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get there. So it's like you're going to another city. And I don't get to see her every day. Now, of course, we talk every day, but you're on the phone, and maybe the conversations are not the same. So I feel that, where's my identity sometimes? I have been Kimberly's mom for such a long time. I have been the Kimberly and Sherry show for such a long time that now that I have Friday evenings to myself, what do I do with them? Or I come home from work and I'm working out alone, because it would typically be her coming over, let's go do a workout together, or me going to meet her, and that kind of stuff. So I'm feeling that as well. And then just thinking about, where do you fit with the whole world itself? Is there more to it? Where am I with my health? My health is good. I still work out often. Right now, with having a job and or a career, and then starting a side hustle, my workouts are a little bit less, but still very significant and doing its job. But my health needs change. As a 51-year-old, if I miss weight workouts, for example, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to know. Either I'm going to know when I get back to it the following week, or I'm going to know because maybe there's a little jiggle in my arm somewhere or something. Bodies change so quickly once you hit that 50 mark. So it's just thinking about those kinds of things. I think it finally got me to a point where I'm ready to focus. And so I'll be making some announcements officially very, very soon. But I really am excited because my focus area, I think, is a place where I can really do some great things. I want to help women who maybe have been lost for a little while because your identity has been overtaken by mom, caregiver, wife, your job, and where's your self-fulfillment? And maybe you feel great about that, and so you're just not the person that needs my help. But I know that there are people out there, because I felt that stirring in my stomach of, something's not right here. I need some help moving forward. And so again, getting that coaching and getting that support and working with my circle, my network, and really figuring out what's going to be the great next steps for me has been really exciting. And I know I can help people do that, and definitely a whole lot faster than it took me to get to that point, because I think I've been working through it for about, like I said, 12 years. So anyway, clear vision really is super important. And I think I finally found this vision for where the next steps are going. So I'm excited to hear what any of you have to say, of course, about it. If you think it's one of those areas that could be beneficial, please let me know. I'm excited to announce where the next steps are going. Should be coming very, very soon. I'm kind of in that point of doing the action research right now. So a little bit more work to do. And then maybe by about the end of August, we should be getting everything kind of put together. So really looking forward to that, and really thinking about what possibilities lie ahead. How awesome would it be if there was some kind of networking community kind of thing where women our age really could get together and really talk about things that maybe women in their 30s don't understand yet, or men don't understand because they just don't go through it the same way we do. how awesome would that be? And then to be in that judge-free zone where you can just say it like it is. Like, boy, today was one of those days. I was hot all day. I don't know what's going on with the hot flashes, but I just need some help. So things like that. So looking forward to that. And before I start rambling anymore, always don't hesitate to reach out. Check out the website, findagirlandherdog.com. Check out my social media, of course. And soon, very soon, I think in the next couple of weeks, we have our next guest episode coming up. And I'm excited about that one as well. It's a dear friend of mine, and she has worked her way up in the educational world to be a leader. And I'm excited to share what she has learned along the way and how she's continued to support her family and balance all the things in life as she's done it. So stay tuned for that in a couple of weeks. But I'll be back next week with another episode of Strong on the Inside and Out. And until then, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.